Hello, all you lovely people. Scott Ladoucer here, coming to you on a Tuesday late morning on a cloudy Tuesday. Yeah, cloudy Tuesday in San Diego. Kind of different, but nice. Good for balance. Too many sunny days in a row. It's good to get the clouds. The energy is, looking out windows that are near me. That's what you see me looking away. Um, I had to redo this video. The other one that I started to do, I got like several minutes into it, and the internet connection got lost. What's interesting is I was talking about working through an emotion as it happens. And I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've been doing personally to help me as certain different emotions surface. And our tendency is to want to work through the negative ones, but it's also good to work through the positive ones so we can continue to add vibration to those. But let's come back to the negative emotions that come up occasionally. And what's interesting is as we experience an emotion, and I'll use frustration because I had a little frustration earlier today, and there's a number of reasons why we attract a situation or we respond to something with any kind of a negative emotion. It's usually because of a past experience. It's kind of repeating itself. I haven't completely cleared it. There's so many different layers. In what way is it manifesting or showing up? What's the connection? All that stuff can be established. It's really neat. Nonetheless, when it does show up, it's what do we do with it in the moment, in that micro moment that can change what we're creating going forward. So, interestingly enough, I was just down below the hill here on the orchard, and there were some things with the irrigation going on, and the time and energy that I'd have to spend with it at that time wasn't really within my plan for the day. Like, oh, Rassam Frassam, this is. But I was a little frustrated. I'm like, oh, come on, and ultimately I stopped and I connected it to, I just want to get to doing the stuff that I really love to do. And, and I enjoy going down there, don't get me wrong, because it's neat. It's fun being in nature and so forth. But at the same time, we have intentions and plans, and when something gets in the way, it's easy to go, to some degree or another. So emotions will surface in all of us. They will. It's just part of our being, to whatever degree or another. So it's just knowing what to do when that happens, And what I've been doing, this is what I've employed, and if this helps you, cool. So I had a conversation with myself. I reached out to God, hands to the air. It's like, okay, what's the deal here? This is what I really want to be doing, and here I am again doing this particular situation, and so on and so forth. And I've got all this other stuff I've got to do, and sometimes we find ourselves going, hey, a little help here, a little help here, and we feel like we're trying to do it all ourselves. See, that's a key. When we step back and ask what's really at work here, oftentimes when you really look at the root of frustration, it comes from impatience, lost focus, lost clarity on the bigger picture, the value and what may be going on in the moment that you're in. There are a number of reasons, but those are some that came to mind here, and those were the ones that applied in this case. So rather than me just kind of continuing to go rassam frassam, I had my minute or two and kind of working through it. I stopped, it's like, I don't want to feel like that. That's not in harmony with where I'm at. And I stepped back and I went, you know what? No. I'm going to work through this here right now from the platform and the launch point of love. And I just literally did that. I just stopped and I just looked around and went, yeah, okay. How can I love what I'm doing? How can I see that it's a part of a bigger picture? How can I change my perspective? And I literally asked that question, those questions, but one specifically that really kind of kicked this process in motion after I came to that place of saying, I want to work through this with love. The next question that came to my mind was, how can I see this differently? And do so with love. And I'll tell you the power of a question. I'm going to touch on that in a video in and of itself. I'll focus on that. But anyway, in doing that, it just shifted my focus. It shifted my energy. It shifted my conclusions. It shifted the ability for me to see you know, get back to that place of clarity, put things into perspective. And it was cool. It was all good from that point on. And I enjoyed everything I did from that point on. I had a couple of moments there. I was like, ah. But once I made those, put those questions there and I made a determination to work from love, that's when it shifted. So why I'm sharing this with you is there's so much to clearing our path going forward because of all the stuff that we carry from the past, different types of baggage, different trigger points, thought processes, chemistries that are at work. Literally, chemicals that are at work within our system and ones that we don't want in our system. But that's a whole other deal. We'll talk about that another time as well. But nonetheless, all of that's there, and then it's as that stuff surfaces, or there may be something we've attracted into our circumstance, and it manifests itself, and it may be related to that circumstance. Unless we address it and work through it in that moment, and we really should try to do that, if at all possible, in some micro way at least, it'll just end up getting added to the pile. But if we do work through it, it helps us to more clearly identify perhaps where its origination came from, or its origin rather. And then when we're in a place of peace, we can go the way of the samurai and be at peace and literally utilize these tools during that time and choose to voluntarily search out a specific emotion that may have surfaced that we work through in that moment, and then choose to employ like the emotion code or some other process, 7 steps that I learned from Arno Gorand. We're employing the emotion codes at the Tranquility Center. So there's different things. There's so many different tools out there, but then now we can be in a position to employ the tool and start eliminating some of them so it doesn't show up again later. But it's being able to work through it in that moment. So I encourage you to, when you are feeling a little bit out of alignment with feeling good, where you want to be, how you want to think, how you want to feel, capture the essence and the energy signature, if you will, of that emotion. What is it? Is it frustration? Is it fear? Anger? It can be any of them. And work through it. But step back and work through it from a launch point of love. And then ask, how can I see the situation different? And what this really boils down to, and I guess maybe to kind of put a bow around this, is we can always find the treasures, within even the most undesirable circumstances in life. And that's what my book touches on. How I found the treasure. I mean, treasures. I mean, there are countless treasures. But man, I'll tell you, I found a big one from having dealt with bipolar in years past. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. Hope that this has been helpful for you, good for you. And I hope that when I click stop recording and I upload it, it actually does it this time. And if not, well, it'll just be a neat moment, and I'll look back and go, okay, I'll do another one. So anyway, have an awesome, awesome day. Create the day the way you want it to be. Create the moments. Create those micro moments and combine them together using that law of combination to get the exact ingredients. Stir them together, work it out, and then watch it happen and go, cool, I did that. That was fun. But it wasn't me alone, because the I, the greater I, is at work. Thank you, God. Thank you all. Be blessed and know that you are loved. Bye for now.